What's happening? My name is Blake Harris, and this is the Music City Mindset. And let me tell you, we've got a super cool episode for you today, and I can only say that because I'm not the only cool cat in this arena.
Well
See
done.
what I did there?
Well done.
Here with me, to my left, owner of Board and Brush in Hendersonville, the only one in this room not associated with football, but the only one here that's caught a pass from John Elway, my best friend, Evan Butler.
Thank you. Yeah.
And, yeah, I can tell he wants to ask about that.
I do, man.
That voice right there, man. When I knew that this concept of a show would only work if I had the right co-host. So I made boxes to try to see who could check off some boxes. And this dude right here checked every single one, which made this concept a reality. Glenn Cliff great, TSU legend, and after a stint with the Buffalo Bills, played some arena football just like me, but he got to sign with the Nashville Kats, different than me. I didn't make the team. Creator of champions at Training Corner on Instagram, Deon Giddens.
Give it up.
The intro, best
Yeah.
intro, dude. Crazy.
So, something that's been bugging me about some of these Instagram videos people have been sending me is all the trends that are coming back. These pictures and videos, you walking around the mall, you got girls that are, 10, 11, 12 years old wearing the old, choker
Oh, yeah.
necklaces, Pokemon's back again, some of the retro gaming. I tried to get an N64 on Marketplace, and it was like $250. So my question for y'all guys to open this up is, what is something that was like a trend or something popular or fun for us back in 90s, 2000s, that's kind of come back around that you're either mad about or that you love, that's back in style again?
I say right, the oversized baggy clothes.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
you like the tight stuff.
I didn't say tight, but I'm just saying not
Yeah.
a 4X shirt.
I mean, yeah, we're not all built like you, dog.
Well, I'm just saying, man.
I'm glad we're not
I
wearing
know
skinny
what you
jeans no
mean,
more.
though.
You know what I'm
'cause
saying? Like, it's too much.
We felt so fresh in them big baggy tall tees
Yep.
and jeans, and we got through that. And when I look back at them pictures, I'm like,
That's what I mean. I look back at them like, dude, I can't tell if I have on shorts or jeans.
I'm going to say it if nobody
I
else
cannot
will
tell.
say it. The mullet. Why?
The mullet made a huge comeback.
It should have stayed where it was.
Where was it,
And,
though?
maybe
Where's the mullet go?
80s. We can have business in the front and party in the back. Maybe I'm just mad because I'm bald,
Well,
but-
maybe me
I
too.
mean,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe that's why I had the.
That's
I do want the box though. I had the box.
Oh, you had the box?
I had the kid and play box. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So, I mean, I can't-
obviously
I
I never
can't do
could do
that.
anything
How,
like that.
how tall did you
It's,
go?
it's pretty tough.
Dang.
That's like Fresh Prince, though.
I'm self-proclaimed the best boxer in the city of Nashville coming up in the 80s and 90s. I'm just saying.
I got to see a picture of this.
Guess what?
He's got them on deck.
I
He's
keep,
got
I
it
keep,
on
I
deck.
keep receipts. I keep receipts just so you know.
My God.
Man, because we're not just talking Morgan Wallen. Even in Texas, the mullets come back.
They put in a different spin. It's faded too.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good. I feel
Right.
like if I was gonna do
Well,
one,
some people,
Yellow Beezy.
Some people
like
make it
that.
look good.
yeah. I can't say that, but I don't
Yeah,
know if
but-
I would rock a mullet.
yeah, I couldn't
Yeah, I
do
know,
it.
I
I mean,
know.
obviously I can't. I'm bald now.
I
but
may have even been guilty of the rat tail. Haven't seen that come back, and glad.
That has not come back,
that
which I'm
hasn't
cool
come
with.
back.
I was
Yeah.
guilty of the cargo short.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I was
that's
efficient.
coming back,
I was
though.
efficient walking around with everything I needed, man.
Yeah,
I
that's-
wasn't holding on to things.
Look
I mean,
like
I
a
just
painter.
got these a couple weeks ago, little cargo pants. I mean,
Heck
they're
yeah.
coming back around. I'm glad we're not wearing skinny jeans no more.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah. skinny. It can fit
Yeah.
just enough, but
You gotta be
that's-
skinny to do it, man.
Man.
I'm over
You don't
260.
have
I can't. Ain't no skinny in the repertoire over here. Man, you pulling up that box
Yeah, I'm
fade?
I'm gonna find it. Watch.
Yeah.
We keep
Well, I
going.
mean, with the skinny jeans, you used to look at a fine woman, you go, man, how's she even get in them things? And then you found out.
Yeah.
You tried skinny jeans. And
Then
you
the
went,
dude started doing
This
it.
is rough. They need some credit. It's not easy to get in them things.
We had training getting them off, though.
Oh, we do. I like him.
Learn.
I like him. That's how you
Very
learn.
valid point.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
I'm the youngest in that picture, by the way. So it's like,
very
it's
nice.
pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that thing is up
It's
there.
up there, bro. I'm
That
telling
Better
is
you.
put that in
up
front of the
there.
camera so they
Yeah.
can see that.
What a
flag.
camera. What do you
Bring that
Where the
back.
camera at? Here we go. Right.
Bring that back.
Higher the hair, closer to
Yeah.
God.
Right. Right.
They were good friends.
Hey, that's
That's what they
before
said about Dolly's hair, though.
That's before the Chris Cross concert too. Back
Yeah.
in the day,
Oh.
we talking about that too. The music.
Man.
Yeah,
And I-
music.
Yeah.
Music coming back around, the different styles and stuff like that.
I was guilty of wearing, because DMX wore half a jacket. So I walked around for like 2 weeks with a half a jacket on, just hanging off the back, just looking back at stuff like that.
Oh man, talking about Chris Cross, man,
Wearing
and
your
DMX
clothes
too,
backwards.
man. My mom would put me in these like cute little Oshkosh bagosh, but I wouldn't strap it as soon as I
One
left the
strap,
house.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the era, man. That's what it do.
Well, growing up here in Nashville, growing up when I grew up, one of the things that I'm excited they brought back from the 90s would be the Nashville Kats.
Absolutely.
Great segue. On the couch with us today, originally a Michigan man, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Two-time national champion in golf, a professional actor, CEO of 4 businesses. I heard that just in passing earlier. CEO, partner of the Nashville Kats. Welcome to the show, Bobby Devo.
Give it up.
Hey, y'all.
Going
Thank
on,
you guys
man?
so much for having me. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Bobby, for taking the time out of your day, running 4 businesses, and sitting down on a couch with us.
I see him with a briefcase every morning over at Lipscomb. I feel like he's always doing something when I'm over there. Never even knew I saw you, but guess what? I'm like, oh, I see him every day working. Working.
Did you know that that's who was coming on?
Did not know.
Okay.
Until the day. So there it is.
I stay incognito, man. I move in the dark.
What's in the briefcase?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even want to know, man. It's folder after folder. You don't want to be in that mindset. I promise you. It's
I don't know if it was like Mayweather. You're just carrying a meal with you, you know.
Just in
And then-
case.
Only I know.
So, Bobby, from Michigan, what part of Michigan and what kind of childhood did you grow up in? What was the neighborhood like?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm from a beach town in Michigan, and it's called Muskegon, Michigan. Yep.
Okay, I didn't even know that existed.
I'm telling you right now, I have to explain it to everybody, but if you go to Muskegon, Michigan for 4 months out of the year, there's no better place. During the summer, it's right on the water. It's like it's a freshwater ocean. You can't see across. You're 3 hours across the lake. You can take a boat to Chicago, Milwaukee from my house, and then in the winter, we got a bunch of inland lakes with a lot of bars, so we just go out there, build the hockey rinks out there. And good buddy I grew up with, Justin Abacator, he played for the Wings for 3 years, the Detroit Red Wings. We built rinks together right behind my parents' house and would skate every morning before school. And my dad told me early, either play sports or get a job, and I love sports.
You sound like, seems like you
But I
did the
still have
best
a
of
job,
both.
yeah.
You got a job in sports.
Now, yeah, it's been a long road to get here. I mean, I started
Yeah.
out at what's the brand? The Abercrombie ripoff. I worked at a retail store to start off, and then as a manufacturing, and then got into sports here in Nashville, because Nashville you can get anything you want to do here. But I had a good career in finance and bad relationship. Came down to Nashville for a weekend in 2014 and moved down here a month and a half later with no girl and a house and a job, and switched it all up. And found myself as an actor about a month and a half later, just from meeting friends. I love meeting people. And then 5 years later, started a football team here. I know we'll get all in this deeper, but got shut down due to COVID the first week.
I actually did make that team.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Gosh, man, it was a
Music City Fire.
What a great pick me up and a letdown all in
All
one
at the
weekend.
same time, because then
All
it
in one
went up
weekend.
to like Jersey or something for like a bubble type situation or something.
Well, we went to Michigan to play. Actually, my hometown. One thing what came out of what we'll talk about the Music City Fire is that when I left Muskegon, I wanted to bring some economic value back to my hometown and to the people
That's
from my
awesome.
hometown, because it is a small town, right? It's a beach town in Michigan, and it's what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but I mean,
I don't know what to think it is. That's
Yeah, well,
beach in Michigan.
There you go.
Well, you're
I
on the
can
Great
explain.
Lakes.
Yeah, the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
We're right on the Great Lakes, so I mean, you can picture 4 months of greatness and then 8 months of darkness, and cold.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a great place, family based, to live and all this stuff. But we were able to take the Music City Fire in 2020, which is my first stint in arena football, up and play the West Michigan Ironmen, who are now their league champions as of a couple weeks ago, and play a game there. And it was a really, a test to get that done. But on the bus ride on the way home, that was March the 7th, we got shut down for COVID. The national shutdown for the 13th was that next day. And we haven't been able to bring it back, but thankfully we got it running now, and
Yeah.
the Cats are
There
just
we go.
flying,
There
man.
we
And
go.
we got a great product. We're fighting for the playoffs coming here in the last couple of weeks of the season, and I mean, you guys are taking notice. I mean, we're doing something right?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
for sure.
Exactly.
And we'll definitely get into what you're doing right with the Cats, because I think that this go around with it, there's definitely some things that you did really good with the
Correct.
rights, the logos, bringing it back, not a different version. You obviously, just hearing you talk for like a couple minutes, obviously you've got a keen sense of business. You're talking about finance, relationship building, things like that. But it seems like in your heart, you're still a jock.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You're two-time national championship in golf.
Yes, sir.
How do you, like, is our tournaments, how does, like, obviously in football, there's the season, playoffs,
Yep.
elimination, then we have the playoff team, whoever's the last standing. How does that work in golf? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I got into golf after high school, actually. So I didn't even
hold on.
play.
You
Yeah,
didn't play?
Didn't play.
Are you kidding me?
Didn't play till I was 18.
Golf, I feel like, is one of the hardest sports
Yeah.
ever.
So
to pick up.
Yeah, I was a hockey player, so I had that motion.
Oh,
that
that's
slap
true,
shot.
though, yeah.
Yeah.
I can heck.
Happy Gilmore?
Still my favorite sport and one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think I have my skates in my car. I've been trying to find time to go to an open skate at any point during this process of this football. But so I had that slap shot mentality. So a buddy of mine, when we graduated high school, we had our parents worked together. We had a country club membership, and we never been. So we just like, hey, you want to meet out here one day? Yeah. So we started swinging. He went and played for Davenport. I went and played for Rochester University. And neither one of us had been serious about golf. We went out there every day and just trained like we were still playing hockey, and we never lost that repetition mentality. I actually moved to Florida and had the life. I was living on a beach, working at a resort, playing golf and working at a golf. So I was getting free golf. I was on the beach for free, and I got recruited by Rochester from this little rink-dink tournament I was in to come and play for them. And I left the beach and some say
Rochester, New York, correct?
What?
New York, Rochester, New York.
Yeah. So I went to a sister campus in Detroit, so just north of. So I went back closer to my family, which was one of the big things. I've always been a family guy, but yes, I'm a jock at heart, man. I've never once lost that mentality of if you're going to do something, do it right, and if you're going to have fun, do it while you're making yourself better. And sports, not only makes myself better, but makes my teammates better around me, and that's something I've never lost. And then it correlates back to business mentality. I never treat anybody any different. If you come to me and we're on the same team, you're my best friend. If you're competing against me, I want you to lose until we're not competing, and then we can be friends again.
So you mentioned a rinky-dink tournament. You're a hard person to do some research on, and I'm someone who's been known for doing my research.
Yep.
I found some results of a 2008 Furniture City Classic. Is that the one you're talking about?
He's looking like, how did you know this?
I did start my college career after that tournament, yes.
Okay.
You are good, man.
Yeah.
I told you, he's the best.
And thank you for the compliment, because by design, I try to stay as incognito as I can, and I've never really made it anything about myself. And to be on your podcast and to talk about you guys and Cats Legends, I just appreciate the opportunity to come here and gab with you about this, because I have led a fun life, and right now I'm trying to instill that, and I finally reached a point where I can be that motivator. When you see me, see me at Lipscomb
all
every
the time,
morning,
working.
I try to lead by design, and I'm the first one in, last one to leave, and
yes, you are.
Even after our first win, I was rolling up carpet in the arena until 1:30 in the morning while everybody was out, and somebody said, "You want to celebrate?" I said, "I'm not done yet."
Right. Yeah.
And that's just the mentality I've always had. I'm not done yet. It's not about me. It's about putting on a production to give people like yourself who may have tried out or didn't make the team, but gives them that hope for next year, or the people that are with us.
Rub it in, Bobby.
I'm getting there. I got this. I'm figuring this podcast thing out.
We are too.
But no, it's a platform for these kids, and whatever reason they play for us. And I've said it before. I don't care why they're here. I love the fact that they're here playing for us, and we're trying to mold men out of what comes out of this product. So,
last thing about golf, because I've never really talked to a golf champion before.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the tournament we're talking about, if we're throwing shots at each other, I think you shot like a 13 over par.
Yeah.
In that one, so you didn't do well. So how did you go from that to a national champion?
You know, there's a guy named Clayton Bissett who was the golf coach at the time, and you know, golf's a fickle game. You know, I do have other tournament scores out there. So I don't know how much time. I know we all are busy.
You should make them easier to find.
No, I'm good. Yo, I wasn't good. Like I said, I started after high school, but so he saw an interest in me and called me out of the blue. Like I said, I was living in Marco Island, Florida, and they called me from Michigan and asked me to come up for a visit. And I knew my dad was, you know, in business all his life, believed in the system of, you know, school, college, this, that, and the other, and this gap year just kind of presented itself, and these tournaments just tried to present themselves, and I was just having fun with it. And you know, it was Clayton Bissett who brought me back to you know, go to college and ultimately win a couple of championships for Rochester Christian, and you know, move on from there. We played at Penn State Blue 2 years in a row. It was the national championship up there. Had a blast. The first year, and my business mentality is how I've always thought this. There's two good stories that come out of this. I'll tell you the other one later, but this one correlates. So the first year we went to the national championship, we took a van, right? And I was sleeping on the seat, and there was somebody sleeping on the floor under me because it was like a 14-hour drive. We left at 4 a.m. and with our coach driving. And I was like, okay, guys, we won it last year, so I went out and got a plane sponsored, so we flew private to the next one, and flew private back, and still to this record, we're the only team that beat our celebration home to the university. They couldn't get anything set up in time for us to beat us back because we went straight from the course to the plane. And I got a picture of us in the plane.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I was like
he's a master.
I was a senior in college. I'm not going on this bus, yo. So like this sits behind my desk with the championship rings, and
that's cool.
The plane.
That's cool.
Oh wow.
Oh, now what year is that?
That'd be 2011. 2010 we won.
That is crazy.
I can't imagine
we won it in 09 and 10.
The credit you get too, like when word gets around, like he got us a plane.
God.
My teammates,
you're legendary.
Like you're
legendary.
Let's just say I didn't have to pay for a drink the last of my year.
I can only imagine. Were there any like PGA talks after that, or like continuing in golf, or was this just like we did it, we fun, this is our Super Bowl, and then back to business?
No, yeah. So I went and played local tournaments. I got a job in finance right after that. Right after I graduated in 2011, went into Northwestern Mutual and did life insurance first, and went into securities after that. My sister's 10 years younger than me. We've always been really close, and I wanted to be there when she was graduating, going through some turmoil, which is. My sister Stephanie, she confided in me throughout some of her high school challenges, and I was there for her. So I don't regret that decision. When I did play in local tournaments, won a bunch of stuff, had a bunch of fun, didn't pay for many drinks those few years either. But then I did play on the Top Golf Tour, which was a thing before COVID, and Top Golf, the entertainment facilities. Mm-hmm. So they have tournaments at each one of their facilities, and you get to, if you win that, you go and play in Vegas for their big one. And that was actually a thing before COVID, and they had it on their, I think they tried a TV station of their own and stuff like that. But Charles Kelly from Lady A, now formerly Lady Antebellum, he was a big part of Top Golf and rolling that out here. So I did play a little bit. You can call it pro if you want to, but it was more fun for me. And did pretty well there and had a good time while I was going through the Nashville process. But other than that, I did play in a U.S. Open qualifier. My driver, it was a 3-hour rain delay. It was a 7,300-yard course, and my driver, when I hit my first ball on a 36-hole day, it went like that and just kind of turned to the right. So I had to play the whole day with a 3-wood and no all carry, no roll, and let's just say I didn't make it.
That's tough.
That's the shot I took, and I had other opportunities.
Should have shopped around a club sponsor.
I know.
That's next on the list.
Hey, man, I used it all on the plane. Shot my shot, and it was convenient.
Yeah, it was.
Rochester had to be a nice place for business connections.
Yeah, it was great. So my dad and my family's been in the automotive industry. He was president of a company called Shape Corporation. He actually had the original patent on how to roll form a bumper. So you see the fascia of what an outer car looks like, and then you pull that back, and you see the actual support steel frame behind it. So the bumper part, my dad, he invented how to roll form that out of a light gauge steel, and so take a coiled steel and send it through a press machine, and at the end it has the insert. And everybody else could only afford to do that by using plastic and insert plastic. So he was kind of an innovator in that. So he took that company from like 150 million to 800 and some million when he was done. Yeah. So he had some stuff going on in his life, which caused some turmoil, and I was kind of his backstop for a lot of his business connections and stuff in town. Being a golfer and coming into my from 18 to 28, I was at the country club that he belonged to, and got to know all the guys there, his connections. So I learned from all those guys, and every time that my dad was having an issue with some substance or whatever, they would come to me. I was next on the line, right? Where is he? What he's got this, that, and the other. So I learned really quick, the process of business, the analytics of business, and kind of the key demographics of what to look for in situations. And I've always been a problem solver and out-of-the-box thinker because of that. So, I kind of got thrown into some turmoil right off the start and had to grow up a lot quicker than I, should have. And it's really helped me. My friends have always been, 20 plus years older than me. And a lot of them were successful in business, and I take in and absorb everything that comes to me, and I have a brain that just loves that aspect of it. So I'm really excited to be able to bring that, and like you said, the athlete in me together finally. In 2020, when I actually had the opportunity to do this, I quit everything I was doing and put the game to the field, thinking this was it and this was my calling. And after the turmoil that the team went through last year, and I actually had a meeting with the previous ownership before they had, my business partner now, Jeff Fisher, and the Cats and the logo and name even. I went and told those guys how to do it, where to do it, and everything, and they just blew it. And we've been doing a lot of damage control on the Cats. And arena football, the business aspect of me says that there's a 30-year stigma, and it's viability of the team, viability of the league, and consistency in the sport. And we've addressed the viability of the Cats. I think that's put to rest. We've got some great ownership in John Gruden, Jeff Fisher, myself, Greg Pogue. We're all very, very dedicated to making this happen and making it happen for the community, with the community involved, and some great kind of out-of-the-box thinking. We're going to – the league has addressed their viability issues. Jeff Cruz and Jeff have done a great job there. We're just going to work on that consistency, and that's something that I really want to go to the other teams this summer and say, listen, guys, I'm treating this as a startup. Please let me come into your marketplace. Let me just look at what you're doing operational-wise. I don't care what you're doing as a team. I mean, you do your own thing, but if we don't survive as a sport, we're never going to grow as a league. So,
right.
And, it helps so many people when you look at, just the 8 teams that we're going to finish this year with, that's 30 guys a team. I mean, you just think of the lives that they're touching each. I mean, it's like a pyramid, stems from the AF1, and it comes down and touches so many people down to down to this podcast where I'm sitting on your couch reaching out to whoever, wants to listen and hear about our sport. So, I'm very passionate, as you can tell, about it.
Yeah.
And my drive comes from every one of the people that touches that field, because they're out there taking the bruises for us. So.
Yeah,
man, that's an incredible story too.
Yeah,
man. That's how you
a lot
got
to
to
unpack
this point.
there. I don't want to move further without saying thank you for being open and transparent, especially everything with your dad and how it kind of molded who you are now. I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
You're not the first person to sit on this couch and tell us that the deals are get done on the golf course. I think I need to dust my clubs off. So
I need to buy some.
You need to buy some.
Yeah, I need to get some.
That's where a lot of deals are done.
You learn a lot, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the deals get done far and few between, but the information that's shared on the golf course of business to business, it takes a long time to play golf. Honestly, I did get out in a tournament last week, but it was the first time I'd swung a club in a year and a half, just because I haven't had time to do it, and it's unfortunate now. But just the stories you hear in the 4 hours, just because it's like you take a shot for 10 seconds and then you get in a cart with your partner and you just hear about their business and you know, build that camaraderie, and you start to open up by the end of an hour. You actually get to learn some things about, you know, that person or the business or both, which is one of the beautiful things about golf, which ultimately I love. So
I mean, essentially what you're describing is the whole reason why I keep this podcast going.
yeah.
Is because we hear about other people's business and how they do things. And I think it affects each and every one of us on how we navigate our lives. So, I mean, you're helping us out just as much as we're trying to use this platform to help you out.
I appreciate it.
So, Nashville. When was your first time coming to Nashville?
It was October of 2014.
Okay. You just coming for a visit, just a party?
I was burnt out in my job, doing really well in finance for 4 or 5 years. I mean, I had set unheard of records for rookies in Northwestern Mutual and this, that, and the other. So I did really well. I'm a serial monogamous, so I got in a relationship that, you know, I moved too quickly in and made some got too far there. Guilty over here on the right. Guilty over here, Evan. He's got a story I can't wait to hear. So I came down here and met a guy named Miles Adcott, who's got a place called Milestones and on-site, which is he does a lot of therapy for recovering artists and business people in town and this, that, and the other. And we got to talking, and just his mission really set me off as to, you know, I came down to Nashville totally on a whim just for a weekend. I don't judge me, people. I don't listen to country music.
We don't either.
Okay, cool. I'm a Vegas rat. You know, once I found the pool parties in Vegas, I was there 8 times in 6 months at one point in my life. So I like, you know, I like listen to EDM if I'm doing it. But no, I came down here just it was close. It was somewhere I'd never been before, and I knew it was. I'd heard it as the recovery city, and you know, Miles Adcott, he does a lot of work in that area, so he kind of proved that point to me, and I needed that rehabilitation in my life. Just I'd always done stuff for other reasons than my own. So I came down here with a job and a house in the Green Hills 12 South area, which has grown exponentially over the 10 years. Yeah,
I'm familiar with that area.
Yeah.
It was,
we work there.
You
work
there,
out.
So you bought in the 12 South area in 2014? 15.
Lucky dog.
Yeah.
Man.
It was still a different
good for you.
place.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, yeah.
Grazie. We'll say that. But yeah, no, I love Nashville, and I only knew what I saw from the first 3 seasons of the show Nashville. So I went to the Bluebird Cafe, which is right down the street from my house.
But man, like that show does it though. Like you think about Nashville, it's like.
I mean, I've heard people from London say the exact same thing.
Oh yeah,
we had people from Germany at our last Cats game that we saw on the street later that night, and they just couldn't stop talking about just Nashville and the opportunities still here in town. And I think it's changed so much.
The land of hopes and dreams.
It's the land of hopes and dreams. Yeah, man. So I knew what I saw from the show Nashville, and I started going to those Nashville spots. Like I knew the Bluebird was right around the corner from me, from where I live. So I started going there, and actually. A casting director came up from behind me, tapped me on the shoulder from the show Nashville, and I didn't know it was that at the time. And she said she was sitting at the table behind me, and she had a bet with her friends. Said, "You either know everybody in here or nobody in here, because everybody that comes up to the bar, that comes near you, leaves laughing and talking to you." And I was like, "Yeah, I just moved here. You know, I don't know anybody. I just like to make friends. I treat everybody the same. You know, everybody's my friend until you prove me different." And then she asked if I wanted to come out and be an extra on the show Nashville, which I did, the next week or something like that, because I work nights. And I got an audition based on just making friends on set, and I ended up being Christina Aguilera. I think her name was Sadie or something like that. Mm-hmm. She did 3 episodes on the show, and I was her bodyguard on the part on the show as her bodyguard.
Have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and pull it up.
That show though. I do remember the show. I don't think I remember.
I did some extra work. Yeah. We'd park at some big church, and they'd bus us over to wherever they were filming, feed us.
I kind of see the boom. It was already happening, but it really caught fire when that came out because people were exposed to it, and it brought a lot economically to Nashville.
Yeah.
A lot of money, revenue coming in. At one point, they were talking about moving it to Austin, and everybody got real upset whether you watched it or not. You're like, you can't have a Nashville show in Austin, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, it was surprising. I mean, it's such a great thing for the city. I mean, it's the only reason I knew to come here. I mean, I knew the country music, but I didn't know anything about how cool of a city it was. I just saw an inkling from the show, right? And ABC had it, and then I think it was year 3 or 4, they decided, and I think this is about when they were going to move it to Austin, that they weren't going to renew it. And then CMT thankfully came through for the city and picked it up. But I mean, I don't know why the Hospitality Tourism Board didn't just, use some of that money from that convention center. They got piles of it. Just pick up the show, and I mean, that would have been the best advertising play you'd seen in years.
I think it would still been rolling, kind of like one of those old like dynasty shows. I think it had that type of capability. I feel like if they would have did it the right way.
That's the business mind too. Is he immediately knew this could go further?
Yeah,
and bring
that's crazy.
more
You said
money.
dynasty.
Right.
I'm serious. Like that's what I feel.
Do you
like
mean like the dynasty or the soap opera?
the soap opera?
The soap opera
opera.
dynasty. That was Heather Locklear.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's gonna get mad at this, but
It's
that's
true.
actually
Come on, transparency.
that's I just got to meet his energy, right?
Right.
I was actually Heather Locklear from that show is actually why I'm named Blake. Yeah.
He was Boy Harris for an obscene amount of time.
We actually couldn't leave the hospital because then we were cleared to leave, but then they couldn't let us leave because I didn't have a name. I was Boy Harris on paper. And
Boy Harris. So how did Blake come about?
Dynasty was on,
Mm-hmm.
and some busty, big hair blonde was like, "Wait, no, Blake, don't." And my dad looked up. This is from my mom's perspective. My dad looked up and saw her the way that she said Blake. It sounded distinguished. So we went with Blake, and I looked up the show because obviously I didn't know that much about it. And that blonde was Heather Locklear.
You are a very distinguished character, I will say that. Like,
Yeah. Her brother's name was Blake, so they definitely had a dynamic. So you fell in love with the city, and then
Fell in love with the
moved
city.
here.
Yeah, fell in love with the city. Just tried. I mean, I just stayed super busy, and just moved here, man. I saw the opportunity for anybody, especially our demographic. I don't know. I say our, but I'm just turned 40, but I mean, I was 30 at the time. So anywhere from mid-20s to, you're anywhere really, you can really do whatever you want to do here, and it's not like you have to go to LA or Vegas or Miami or something like that, but it has a lot of the same features, just not the same culture or people, I guess you'd say. So not the saturation, I'd say, not the saturation of the downtown. It's been growing, obviously, but it still doesn't have the saturation of those other, cities that have just really grown beyond their means. And I mean, Chicago, I'd throw in almost Indianapolis and several of those cities that, we're called Nash Vegas, but, Broadway, I'd say you can almost have too much fun there.
That's true.
When you're,
They know.
Vegas, you can have too much fun, but Broadway, you can almost have too much fun, and some woo girls definitely try to have too much fun. But to bring back your point from what you said in your intro, the '90s Nashville, the '90s Cats. One of the big things for next year is bring back Nashville. I've seen in the 10 years that I've been here, a lot of restaurants, a lot of places get kind of priced out. Joey's House of Pizza, shout out to those guys. I mean, they were one of my favorite people in the world, that whole family. They had a great spot overlooking the city, and now they have an event space 30 miles away. One, they were doing extreme business, and two, it's just pricey, right? Mm-hmm. So I got we play at Municipal Auditorium, as you know. And I got them to agree to let us do pop-up restaurants next year. So I'm going to try to bring some of this Nashville spots back.
Cool.
So like Joey's Pizza, we're going to do a pop-up restaurant in the auditorium. The only time you can have it is when you come to the games.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to be in the VIP lounge area. So it's right on the board. So come get your slices and try not to get Stephanie to throw one in your face.
Man, you ever been to one of those games, like you fly over the board, you know what I mean? Like anything it all is live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's live.
But there's several. So we want to really touch the community, not just in a current way, but we want to touch the heart of the community and bring back the heart of the Cats, which I believe is, old
Man,
school Nashville.
there were some legends that played back then. Corey Fleming. And,
when I got signed, like he was still playing at that time.
Yeah,
So
he
it
coached
was
me at the
tough.
Storm.
Yeah.
We're honoring those guys this week, or we just honored those guys at our game, and it's been really great to have them embrace us as well.
I mean, it was big. I mean, the Cats back then, it was huge. Like playing in Bridgestone, right? Games on TV. The Arena League had a video game out at one point.
Yep.
So they had like CBS sponsorship. So just to hear like y'all are on track to kind of get it back to that is what we love, even down to the logo.
Yep.
Right. I mean,
that's my favorite part. That's a
shirt.
great logo, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like when I saw that, I'm like, okay,
when
somebody gets
it first came back and it was like a different logo, it was like cool, but like that's not the Cats, man.
So I will give credit where credit's due. The previous ownership did do a couple things right? They got the Cats name back, which is something that I turned down in 2020. But I didn't know the cachet of it and the true reach of the name. I had only a couple months to do my due diligence to pick up the team, and they got Jeff Fisher involved. They did that right. They did those things right. As far as the rest, I've seen the books, and it's unfortunate what happened last year, and we're rectifying all the rest, and we're here for a long-term stretch, and I say that arena football is kind of, it peaked before it could peak. And I'll say that because
absolutely.
in 2007, it went out of business, right? Mm-hmm. But when did the social media and the content-driven world start? Like, say 2012?
2012
right
is when Instagram
2012,
happened.
2012.
After that,
Yeah, we can agree at 2012. So say that if arena football was peaking in 2012, I mean, where would they be now? ESPN would be. I mean, it would have been the leader in the betting. It would have been because it's so quantifiable. It's half the space of a normal field. It's contained as like a hockey game is. So you can totally get the content you need from just setting up stagnant cameras. Yeah. And the content, I mean, people are going full-fledged, like you said, Superman over the boards, and the defenders following them. I mean, we had a top 10 sports center already this year from from one of the guys out in Washington who just went full-fledged over the boards.
Yep. No, it's live action.
One of our cameramen at the game I think you went to caught a ball in the camera that was live streaming. Guy got a black eye, popped up, was like, dude, this is great. Got back on his camera for Evergreen now and started going again. I mean, I'm a hockey player. I'm like, yes, let's go.
It's got that feel, too, of it's just rugged, and players are really allowed to get over the top.
It's
the
entertainment.
Celebrations,
it's
like
entertainment
all
for
the
sure.
stuff that you get to do, man. Like it's fun. Like
well, I hate that their books and things like that got to that, but it sounds like their problems fell in the lap of the right person to fix it. I'm excited to dive more into the specifics of arena football because I played, he watched me play, so we can really dive into that. But let's take a break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll dive right back in with Bobby Devo. We are back here at the Music City Mindset. We are here with Bobby Devo of the Nashville Kats. Bobby, thank you for coming out. We've had so much fun so far. We kind of covered everything from how you grew up and some of the things that you went through that made you the man that you are now. So now you're in the story of things. You're here in Nashville. What was your first time actually seeing arena football with your own eyes?
With my own eyes live.
Yes, your own eyes live.
It wasn't until we put it to the field on March the 6th of 2020. I never saw it before I put it up to the field.
That's wild.
He's like a visionary.
I have to.
Yeah,
I have to admit it.
But that's
I have to
okay
admit
though. That
yeah.
makes it even better though,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like your mind is so far advanced where sometimes people just can see stuff and like, all right, this is the vision, and then to execute the vision is something even better. You know what I mean? So you see it and then like, oh, let's put it all together. I think you gotta have special talent to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Because I had the Cats growing up, gotten to we'd go down and sit literally on the wall during celebrations and timeouts and stuff. And then moving forward, playing some arena ball, especially with like what arena ball gave to me is when I thought I messed everything up in my career with drugs and everything in college ball, that like arena gave me a chance to continue my career. So I'm very passionate about these lower levels and this arena level of football and what that gave to me. But to hear about someone who'd never seen it, to quit everything you were doing to make it a reality here in Nashville with the Music City Fire, which is what you're referring to there. Like, what was it about this sport? It's special to me. I know it's special to him. Like, what was it that really made you like, okay, this is it. This is my calling.
To reiterate everything that you just said. Everything you just said. Your story is why. Your story is literally why I took a chance, and I see the potential for this sport. I see how it's being run. I see how it's being perceived, and I see an opportunity for your story to be missed, and I don't want that to happen. So my passion is driven by every one of the guys that comes out. I don't care if they're in the AF1, the IFL, or whatever other league they come in. We played in the AAL at that time, and I don't even know where that ranked. I didn't care. I just knew that I had a platform to help people, and I wanted to make the most of it. And I saw the potential for the community to get behind it and to help the people that, made a wrong decision here or there, or not even a wrong decision because it all led us to this point, right? So just an odd decision or had an injury and then it inhibited them to make a bad decision or for whatever reason you're still looking to pursue your dreams. Joe Campbell, our coach back at the Music City Fire when you were with us, I mean, he had to take my cleats away from me because I wasn't allowed anywhere near the bench during our game, the only game we played, because he knew that I'd run my ass out there if somebody was hurting our guys. Or if somebody was beating up one of our guys, he knew that my ass would be. I didn't care if I was out there with tube socks and a rubber band. I was like, I'm gonna get in your face. But I just have such a passion for sports and the opportunities it brings to people, and for whatever reason that they have that in their life at that time.
He's a hockey player.
I know.
I love it though.
I know.
I
but
love the hockey in them.
I love that side of you because like sitting here, you're a finance white dude, but I know that staff. That you had of that Music City Fire with Cromwell and all of them, and it's like to think that you're the one that would have to be like held back. It is like it really cracked me up.
And it's still to this day. I mean, we got the winningest coach Darren Arbad, and his whole crew is doing a great job. But man, I was out there throwing balls on the field today before I went on the air with Channel 5. I was like, what?
I love that.
I don't care. I'm one of those guys that I just see the world different, I guess. I'll be right there with you. And I like I said, you saw me at the game. I don't just sit there and watch the game. So when you say first time you see the game, the first time I saw the game live when I actually was a part of it, because we played an away game, so that you don't really do much during the away game. You make sure the guys get there, make sure they're good, and this and the other. But to actually throw an event in town, I didn't go to a single game last year. Didn't go to a single Cats game last year. Didn't go to I've never been to an arena football game outside of the one that we played in Michigan until we played at home this year.
Wow.
That was the first event that I'd ever thrown for that. I know I've been in events. I worked for the Titans, so this is something you didn't find, but I worked for the Titans. I ran all the suites for the Titans, and Miss Amy and I are buds, and this, that, and the other. In 2017 through 19, I did some of that while I was acting, just for the games and the events and stuff like that. And then I managed private jets while I was getting my MBA.
Oh, that's why you cracked up earlier.
After we shut down and we couldn't play anymore, I asked you guys to stay vigilant and ready for me. And I can't just, one, idle time and I don't do well together. I get in trouble. Two, if I'm asking you guys to stay ready, I want to stay ready. So not many people know this, but I went back to Lipscomb and enrolled in the MBA program so that I would have
Really?
the best business knowledge, because ready for when we could start this up again, so that I could train myself for my role with you guys to play my best role and to give you guys the opportunity. I mean, that's what really drives me. I don't think people see that. Like, I don't care. Like, I want the team to do well. Like, ultimately I want the Nashville Kats to make money so that we can stay around and give the opportunities to, treat the players the way they deserve to be treated. But everything comes down to the opportunity that we give to the people that are on the field. I have the great opportunity of saying that, I get to lead this group from the business side, but, and we have a great group. Our quarterback, Tyler Kolka, he's like, hey, man, you want me to roll carpet with you up after the game next week? I said, no, man, you did your job. You got out there, took the bruises. Now let me do my job and clean this mess up for you. I gave you a place to play. Let me take it apart. You go have fun and celebrate. You did your job. And my job isn't going to be done at the end of this season, at the end of next season. It'll be done when somebody tells me, I can't do this anymore, or I get buried. Because, as long as I have an opportunity to touch somebody's life or give them an opportunity that they're searching for, it's what drives me every day.
Like, he's somebody you'll love to play for.
Yeah.
Like just seeing you around in presence, just speaking on, like, the experience I have with arena football, it doesn't have to be a bad decision. It could be like, hey, you just get cut. I still want to play. And it's like, without these opportunities that you create, like the Cats and places like that, man, like, guys are just kind of lost. And we talk about that a lot. Like, once somebody gets the NFL dream snatched from them, it's like a lot of depression can start, a lot of, there's a lot of bad thoughts, a lot of bad everything can happen. So you creating a platform and, like, I can hear the passion that you have about it, making it Nashville to be specific, right? Making it be to what we're used to seeing and even better. Like, it means a lot for us to actually had a role in being on that side of the fence, but now we're doing this, getting to sit down and talk to you and seeing it grow from this side. It's pretty cool, man. And to hear your passion and what you're willing to do to make it that's cool, man. So kudos to you on that, man.
I really appreciate it. And like I said, I've kept a very low profile and done some really, some things that, very fortunate to have been able to do in my life. But I wanted the opportunity. This opportunity is great for me, and I'm trying to utilize it and get out and hear your stories and bring my story up, because I think it's the right time for the sport, for the leagues. There's so many people out there that just need hope these days, and they're getting priced out of so many things, and especially in markets like ours. You go to other places we play, like Albany or Bend, Oregon, or Billings, Montana, who don't have professional sports teams. They have something to ride on it, and we're going to play in Clarksville, like I said, on June 14th. Mm-hmm. They don't have that Titans or the Predators or this, that, and the other, and which is in a way a good thing, in a way a bad thing. It's a good thing for them because they don't have the competition, and it's a bad thing for us because we have that competition, but yet it's a good thing because we're in a totally different price point, and we want to touch the locals who are getting priced. You think about how crazy this is. A ticket to our game right now is half as expensive as it is to park in Nashville for 5 hours.
Wow.
Jeez.
But
it's less than one drink on Broadway to come to our game. Why? And with the content that it creates, how is this not something that's quantifiable?
Right.
It comes down to the viability, the consistency. And as soon as we get those things tackled, you will see this sport take off like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And
100%.
It will just benefit so many athletes. just from Music City Fire, our when we got shut down, our quarterback, Pat Smith, he went to Germany and played. He got recruited from the team to go and play professional ball in Germany and came back and still plays. If there's a will, there's a way, and there's definitely I got the will, and there's definitely a way that we just got to find it and set the tone here in Nashville. And to go back to your hockey mentality, I have a couple routines that I've started from the start. We just picked this up 12 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys knew that, but training camp started 11 weeks ago. We picked this up. Jeff Fisher and I picked it up from the old ownership 12 weeks ago.
I didn't know that.
We
Well,
played
I saw you and Jeff in the parking lot one day out of Liverpool. It might have been the time that y'all decided to do it, but no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was that kind of turnaround.
Man, that's a
Yeah,
quick
we
turn.
had a training camp started a week after Jeff called me. I was in for one of my other jobs. I run a couple construction companies, and I was at a conference in Phoenix, and he called me on like a Thursday afternoon and said, "I'm bringing the players in next week. You need to make it happen," because we were debating on how we were getting this from the league from these previous ownership, and he got it. And
How is it like working with Jeff?
How did
Oh,
y'all
it's great.
connect?
So his ex-player, Robert Reynolds, played for the Titans. He is a buddy of mine and his brother Patrick. Jeff approached them last year about investing in the Cats, and they knew that I had done a lot with Music City Fire, so they came to me for advice, and I had met the previous ownership, like I said, prior to that, and they said it was a godly thing. I was in front of them. I gave them my whole playbook from my MBA, and I gave them like a 107-page document. They're like, yes, you fit in great here. Never heard from them again. So, and they went out and hired people that were like my number two, and you guys know I'm very transparent, so I have a lot of loyal people behind me, and great people. Ashley Daniels Allen, who's been my number two since Fire, and she's great. But they hired her, and there was a guy, Greg Johnson, who they did wrong really bad from the start to get Jeff and the Chuck in, and so they helped me out through the year of what was kind of going on, and when Robert and Patrick came to me, I said, don't say anything about who you're getting advice from, just stay in it. There is a market here, but the ownership that they have right now, and to put it as nice as I can, is questionable, and I'd wait to see what they're going to do and make sure that they show you some numbers along the way as they're going before you get involved. And they wanted some astronomical amount too. It was like $1.2 million for 10% of the Cats, and they hadn't even played a game.
Was
They
it
had
Shark Tank?
I knew exactly and doing my knowing that I knew exactly how much they paid for the IP and the Cats brand. They had Jeff Fisher involved, but they didn't have a single game under their belt at that point. I laughed when they said that's what they were looking at. I said, "Where's their pro forma? They didn't show them anything." So it's great the passion that they had to be in business with the sports industry, because we need that passion, but we also can't have people put into positions that are there at the end of it end up tarnishing legendary brands, because it all comes back to the players. I mean, it hurts them in the end, and it's just like every other business entity. If I mess up my job in the construction industry, it messes up my job that the guy that I depend on to sheetrock a wall, and everybody has their role to play, and everybody's on their own journey, and you just got to respect that. But I mean, they ended up ultimately hurting the brand more than helping it last year, but we've done some repair, and we love the Cats. It's claws out now, baby. We're running full board for playoffs. And
Claws
y'all
out.
gonna make that push,
Well, it's
man.
full
we gonna
circle
make that
too.
push.
Make that push.
It's full circle too, because when it was here before, Bud Adams was involved in it, and obviously Jeff coached for him. So now for Jeff to be involved in this, like there's layers to this legacy that's here.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
He's having so much fun too. So Robert, I told him this, the investment group I was advising, I said, keep me in I knew the girls were looking out for me because of some other stuff that was going on. So I said, just don't mention who you're getting this information from. I don't care. Just if you guys have any questions, just let me know. You're my friends. I ultimately want this to succeed, but I ultimately care about you guys as my friends. So I was just very honest. I mean, you can see me. I'm just very honest. And when Jeff told Patrick and Robert that he was going to take this entity on himself, this was back in January, they came to me and said, I think it's time for you to meet Jeff. So we sat down in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I told him the whole story. I told Robert, and they hadn't told him anything about my previous history with the Cats or with the ownership or whatever you want to call it. We sat down, I told him the whole story, and we worked together to get the entity out of the hands of the previous ownership in a fiscally responsible way, and we did that 12 weeks ago. So we turned it around. We didn't have insurance. We didn't have anything. So we started 12 weeks ago from a blank slate. They gave us. I mean, we took claws out to just get the IP, and I think we had the website got turned over to us 5 days before our first game in town. You
Man.
know,
For that to happen that amount of time and still cranking out like the performances y'all doing there, like that's wild.
Man, that is wild.
Thank you. Yeah, we hit the ground running with this, and I've had this vision. So when we started the Music City Fire, it was 2020, and my long-term, I always see things long-term goals. So I had 2 goals. One was to be in Nashville, playing our games in Nashville with a brand name, with financial backing, and treating our players right. So my literal 5-goal dream came to me in January after not playing but 1 game in arena football and seeing not even working 1 game, seeing 1 game in arena football. I'm living my 5-year dream, and so I'm making the absolute most of it.
You're living my 5-year dream.
Hey man, we're all living somebody's dream.
How did John Gruden get involved?
Yeah,
that one was crazy when y'all announced that on social media.
I heard that. I was like, wait a minute, Gruden?
Yeah,
Gruden. Yeah, that's
like
Gruden.
Barstool Gruden.
Yeah. Barstool Gruden.
Yeah. How did that happen?
So, I have to give credit where credit's due. That's Jeff's bud. Jeff's buddies with him. He's been talking with him throughout this process. Jeff is very excited, both from the league standpoint and the Cats standpoint. And, working with Jeff and together, I've spoke very much about, the prospects of this thing really taking off and the opportunities here. Well, Jeff was a part of it, and he saw kind of the bad and the ugly last year as they went through a lot of turmoil, but he's never lost sight of, where this could be, helping the kids. And he's got the same goal as I do at the end of the day. If kids are taken care of and given a chance to play, thrive, and survive, we're doing our job as individuals and good humans, it maybe look like we're living a dream, but you see me in Lipscomb every day. It is a grind. You have to worry about ASCAP licenses for music at your games, or you can't get streamed. You have to worry. There's so many little nuances and details that come into
the player. You're not thinking about anything.
You don't think about anything. Yeah,
which we shouldn't, though, right?
No, that's not your job. That's our job. And if we
Yeah.
do our job right, we'll be in front of people like you guys.
Jeff's the commissioner of the whole league, right?
Yeah, Jeff's commissioner of the league, so he spends a lot of time, on league business, and myself and Greg Pogue, we spend a lot on the day-to-day here with the Cats, and John Gruden, we're working on getting him involved in any way that he sees fit, but he's got a mind like Jeff's, and it just coincided with, we're on a mission to help people, we're on a mission to give people a platform, we're on a mission to create a content-based sport, which this is primed for, you know.
Oh, it's entertainment for sure.
It's entertainment and done right and done with the community based involvement. There's no stopping the potential as long as we solve that viability problem. You will see, you'll start seeing betting like Barstool itself get on board. You'll start seeing ESPN. Last year I think they had the NFL. Last year I think they had the NFL Network. And because of the viability, they lost that contract, that would have been a great thing.
Yeah.
But I'm way out of the box on here, and as far as Barstool is concerned, like I have a pitch sitting in my car that I'm just waiting to
That's what's
get
in the suitcase.
I'm waiting.
That's one of the things in the
You don't even
suitcase.
know the potential that's in that suitcase. Yeah, this is one of the things in that suitcase. But I want to turn this into I'll roll it out here just as a curiosity. What would you think if we turned, instead of just the arena football game, say we started at noon tomorrow and had a couple of big Bigtrons blasting whatever games are out there. We got electronic betting. We got a casino floor where that you get fake money that you're going
We're
for.
making
Barstool,
history, ladies and gentlemen.
Barstool
Right
Stein
now.
beer.
Rolling out here.
And
Take my money.
It's a pop-up.
Yeah.
sports
I got a
book.
lot, but take
It's
my money.
Why don't we?
I'm in.
Why don't we create these as pop-up sports books as entertainment? So you can come through. We put a band out there. We watch the games. You can bet. You can do casino for signed gear.
I was trying to bet on the game when I was there last time.
I know. Did we bet?
No,
Because I'm not allowed.
because he's not
No.
allowed. We did not
protocol.
bet.
I would have
I
broke
don't know if that was a
protocol.
test or not.
I
but we
did not bet on that game.
No, we did not bet on that.
Speaking of,
I do not know that
that would
game's
be a
name.
conflict of interest. Obviously, we learned with
Correct.
Pete Rose, who's back in the running for that.
Yeah.
But is that not a conflict of interest of Jeff being the commissioner of the league and ownership of a team?
So, well, actually, the league ownership, there's several. There's 3 team owners in the league ownership, and they all commingle together. I mean, separation of church and state. I mean, you know,
Okay.
we don't talk about. I mean, he rolls some league stuff off me from time to time, but he definitely does not divulge more than he needs to. But you know, he knows that I'll get it. I'll get where he's going with it, and I can kind of pick up on his cues if he needs, you know, any help anywhere. But I mean, he's really stopped. He's been great at the league level, especially. We have an owners call every Tuesday with all the teams, and he's, you know, we this playoff. I don't know if you saw it, but we switched the playoff format from 6 teams to 4 teams, and you know, we had a couple of calls that this came up, and we had a vote, and you know, some people were on the fence of which way to vote, and he's the one that kind of steps in and says, listen, we can take our time, and just calms everybody down, and you know, he's really been the voice of reason in several areas where we've kind of stepped back and made the right decision. And my mind, we took a step back and had an extra week to decide on the playoff schedule, and I scheduled a call with our owners just so we could talk about, and the league owners, just so we could talk about, you know, what's going on in an open forum. And you know, my mind was changed from the 6-team format to the 4-team format, and that's because, you know, Jeff said we need to take an extra week on this, and you know, we had already voted and this, that, and the other. So I mean, his knowledge and his just sheer
He knows ball.
Yeah, just knows ball, knows how to run ball, knows how to delegate, knows how to mediate when needed, and so from a league standpoint, he absolutely thrives. And then, you know, I'm so very grateful that he has entrusted me with the vision of the Cats and the actual production side, you know, and the vision that we've come up with, I think has a great potential, you know, in the game, and to kind of be a model for teams that follow us. So
Yeah, because I don't think you would get what we're getting here in Nashville with that type of leadership, even with the ownership, 2 head coaches with the stints that they had in the NFL, coming down to just being a group and partnering and doing all the stuff that y'all do, man. So I'm excited about like what's next to come. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah, because I mean, you've only had it for 12 weeks now. Y'all are crushing right now. Gruden's involved, all of that. Like, obviously, we talked about like when this is going to come out. Is there anything else coming down the pipeline? Like, what's next for the Cats? What can we be excited about?
Well, you didn't hear it here, but there's potential for the Charlie's Daniels Band to come and play in Clarksville for halftime, potentially for a playoff game. They're obviously Charlie passed, but you know, his band has stayed together. You were like, this guy's good. He's bringing them back. I knew you were good, but damn. You do have that willpower. No, I'm just kidding.
I was hoping you knew.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if you know this, Bobby.
But he did die, though. It's okay.
I hate to tell you.
You know what it was? Is that water boy, man. I got that glacier. I got that glacier water, so I poured it on Charlie. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But, but no, so they're doing a relaunch and an honorary album to Charlie, and they obviously replaced Charlie, but the whole band is still together, and
That's cool.
You know, I met with them yesterday, and they really want to be a part of this, and it's just great to see the city getting involved. You know, I've taken some steps to really get the name out there over the summer, and just really be a spearheaded, you know, and model, you know, not just. So I'll go back to my routines. If you've ever heard of the Shoresy, and this goes back to my hockey, it's on Hulu. I watch it repetitiously right now because it's all about the will to win, and getting people behind you. And I'm a cross between the player Shoresy, who plays in a semi-pro hockey team, and the owner, who's a girl, but just ruthless. It is the worst comedy you've ever seen in your life. So I mean, if you don't like profanity, if you don't like, I mean, it is. I mean, but yeah, you'll watch it and be like, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you. I can't unstop watching the show. But I mean, I'll admit, I even watch it in my car on the way to work, on the way to Lipscomb every morning, just getting that killer mindset. And I find you just find yourself relating to certain shows, and right now, this point in my life, I just have to have that killer mindset to go out there, and I don't really do much outside of work at this point. I mean, I get up with my kid in the morning between 5 and 6. And I'll go home tonight. I'm providing dinner for the team. We actually have the arena, which you guys are welcome to come out to, Municipal tonight and do that. But I mean, I'll get home at like midnight or 1 tonight, and I'll get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow and do it again. And you know, especially when we on the weeks that we have game days, it's, you know, it's tiring, but you know, somebody's got to do it, and I'm just happy it's me. I mean, the grind is where I live.
Have you always have that mindset, or is there a moment in your career with everything you've done where in order to get through that, you had to, the only way you got through that moment of your life, that chapter, whatever you were dealing with, the only way to get through that was to shift your mindset?
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun in my 30s or my 20s. So I did not always have this mindset. I didn't treat my undergraduate with too much clarity or I say that because I was out a lot, but
Yeah.
So you know,
you're in the right room.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah, if you had to miss, if you could only miss X number of classes before you got an F in the class, I had every class on my apartment refrigerator, and I had a tally of how many times I missed that class, so I wouldn't go over, you know. So I didn't treat life too seriously back then, and I worked hard at golf. I had a lot of fun with friends. Went back, did the same thing back with my hometown friends, but just realized you get stuck in that rut where, you know, you just get in that same routine. And a lot of my friends, and I love them to death, and a lot of I call one person that I actually met on the set of Nashville, it's Reggie Clay. He's you know, 52-year-old African-American guy who has dreadlocks. You never see us together. Like, you would never picture us as best friends. He's like my only friend in the world because I don't have time for anything. And I have a bunch of acquaintances. And like I said, everybody's my friend until you prove me different. So I have a bunch of acquaintances. But my high school friends, you know, you just get stuck in that small town routine where it's just drinking. It's, you know, it's settling in a job and working in that job, this, that, and the other. And I'm lucky that I got out of that mindset because it just never was where I wanted to be. And just, I never realized it took some bad decisions, you know, to get there. But when God's testing you, it's when you hit your strongest point. So when I moved to Nashville, I said, I mean, I still, even to this day, driving in, because we moved, when you say I bought in 2015, I'll say I sold in 22.
Oh, you can spread that around. That's a lot that you took in from that sale. I'll say that.
Yeah. So we moved up to 3 acres now in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to be close to my in-laws. I got a 3-year-old kid, but I mean, 10 years ago, I drove into the city and saw the skyline, which is totally different than it looks today. And I said, I want to make this city mine. I've never had an opportunity like this, never jumped at a city like this, and you know, I was hoping to do it 5 years ago with the Music of Fire, but I have my opportunity now with the Cats, and I couldn't be more grateful to the Nashville, the city, and you know, the people that have got me here along the way. You know, not just been amazing for me to meet everybody. For the last 10 years in Nashville has been amazing, so I wouldn't trade it for the world. Man, I'm glad for every decision that you fucked up that led you to that couch right here. Yeah, I love it. There's the first F-bomb. Come on, I'm free. Free me up. Is it really? Oh, no. No, I'm just kidding. This is not a... It normally happens like in the intro. Yeah. How good do I have to be here? Fuck. Okay, let's talk about the game in Clarksville. Yes. When is that? Where is that? Where can people get tickets? You already kind of dropped the halftime show might be a big name there, so everybody should go out and get that. Let's plug that game. Yeah, our last halftime show was Two Live Bree, who just released a song called Southern Country Girl, which is going viral right now. It's still going viral. I mean, so we did him for the last halftime show. So we gotta roll something out, right? So we're definitely looking at any possibility, and you know, we just meeting friends. This happened at Detroit Cowboy, Kid Rock's new bar. Reggie and I, we went to opening day there after we left Lipscomb and just kind of sat there and tried to get inspired. You know, we want to be around anything in Nashville that's opening or creating or whatever. It frees up my mind to, one, look outside of what I'm doing in my other businesses, and two, be around people and get actual feedback, which is very important to me. And we ended up meeting, actually, it was a host there that night, Alex, and he has an in with the Charlie's Daniels Band. He's a musician himself, so we just met with them yesterday, and just the way it's just the way, isn't that Nashville? Yeah. Is that more Nashville or what? That is Nashville. That's like the epitome of like what happens in Nashville. Yeah, and we met, you know, we hung out with Kid Rock that night, and he signed a bunch of Cats gear, and he's loving it, and like I said, we're getting the city on board, and we're going to roll out some other minority ownership pieces here with a lot of cachet and credibility in Nashville, and we're hoping to not just be a staple for us, but for the sport. I mean, it all comes down to the sport. So
that's the beautiful thing in Nashville too. You never know who you're going to see at a game, who's going to show up, what it's going to be like. It's always exciting. But even meeting that, hostess or whatever, or host, it's when you're on the right path and you see all of a sudden things start connecting immediately, and you're like, this is bigger than me. Starting with the fire, leading through, feeling like a failure, learning from it, and those hurdles, and just all of a sudden pushing through and going. It's that light bulb moment of this is what this was all leading towards. Really neat.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat, Nashville. We keep going back to it's just so Nashville, but unless you live here, unless you experience it, a lot of people are still out there. We met the saxophone player out in downtown Nashville yesterday or the day before, and he was rocking Bruno Mars just by himself, and it was an 80-degree day, sweating his balls off, and just we stopped. Reggie and I stopped in the middle of the street coming from a meeting and walked back and just talked to him, and he's going to be playing outside the entrance at the game this week. I just it's finding opportunity.
Man.
I mean,
I love everything you're doing.
Life is about. I mean, a lesson that I learned a long time ago is life will be a lot easier if you can recognize opportunity and have the balls to jump at it. And not every opportunity is right? But if you find the right one and you have a passion there, I mean, you just got to be. Yeah, go all in, and now I say that with 3 other jobs, but at the same point,
you got to.
At the same point, my product's speaking for itself. Okay, boys, come on, let's go.
You got a plan B.
Let's go.
No, where can people get tickets?
Yeah, so F&M Bank Arena is where we're going to play on June the 14th against Corpus Christi, and you can find it on the Cats website, NashvilleKats.com. You can find it all over social media. We'll be running a bunch of stuff out there. You can go to F&M Bank Arena and come to Clarksville. I mean, bring a posse, bring a friend, whatever we want to do. And get in touch with me. I go to so we haven't had much time for sponsorship or going out, and this is one thing I really want to do is to get the community involved is to get out to the restaurants, get out to the social spaces and say, how can we get involved? How can we pair with you? And this, that, and the other. So we're just really trying to do that at the end of this year. We haven't had much time to get out in the community. We're really giving away tickets. We're at the flea market today. We're just, we're really trying. And no, we're trying everything, man. We're trying everything. But one of the things I want to do
Bobby's the Oprah Winfrey of arena football tickets. You get a ticket. You get a ticket.
I got a text before I got here. Said I'm running out of tickets from the flea market. I've had my buddy Reggie there all day, and I feel so bad. But I don't feel that bad because I was there at 7:45 to help him set up before I saw you.
You brought up the price point earlier, and it's full circle for me and probably all of us growing up here. Our parents brought us because it was affordable. It was something fun to do. It was an amazing night. And then now having kids, having a family, and finding something that doesn't break the bank is hard to do. So it's an amazing opportunity to bring the family out, everybody. It's affordable. You're going to have a great time.
Yeah, thank you for saying that because it does compound on itself, and that's what we love, right? So if you go to a Titans game, we love our Titans. I don't want to say a bad word about them, but I mean, if you try to buy, anybody here know how much a PSL seat is in the 100 block?
I got some guys. I got some guys with sweet tickets, so it gets pricey.
The 100,
ridiculous. The 100 level, just for the rights to be a PSL member.
Isn't it like? Is it over $1,000 now?
It's $75,000 per seat to have the rights to buy your tickets for that seat
every
year.
For the whole
to be a PSL member. $75,000 per seat.
And this is the current stadium.
This is the coming stadium.
This
is the new stadium.
The new stadium.
It was supposed to be 2026.
I haven't seen any numbers there.
It's supposed to be 2026. Now coming 2027. The new stadium. Right now it's like 50 though. I mean,
it's high.
It's ridiculous. But I mean,
I didn't realize it was up like that.
Yeah, they went ahead and sent out the renewals and what the increase is going to be and where your tickets are now versus where they're going to be. It's a tough choice.
It's
I
ridiculous.
thought you were talking
And
about per game.
I ran the suites, so I all 172 suites in Nissan Stadium, and I never put it. Well, no, I did put in more steps than at our first game, which you saw me run around at. But I mean, I think I did 32,000 steps that day. But when I was the beverage manager at Nissan, I would put in 28,000 steps a day, just running through those 172 suites and make sure everybody was taken care of. And there's just so much money in entertainment. I mean, you think about Savannah Bananas, how they recently sold out Nissan Stadium. I mean, and people have come to us and said, why don't you guys become the Savannah Bananas and this thing? I was like, maybe in the off season to keep us going, but and I don't want to call them a gimmick because they're an amazing company. I mean, they're right. They sold out Nissan Stadium. I mean, how can you argue with those results? But I mean, that's a gimmick in the sport of baseball.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters.
We have to build
it to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
I said that. The other day.
Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to go too gimmicky like that, but arena football is about entertainment.
Yeah, we need to make a serious sport though, because otherwise it'll turn into
because you won't get serious players though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, cause I didn't play for a gimmick. I played to win.
Exactly.
And that platform still created the opportunity to go play at the next level too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys got called back up. So if you get released, come here, play, and you get called back up. So it still got to be, real deal.
It's marketing genius. I mean, you cannot discredit that Savannah Bananas for anything. They are in their prime right now, and they're loving it.
They found what they were going to do, and they stuck to it. And I mean, they're selling out stadiums. But
and it's
also about the fan experience for sure.
The sport of baseball is growing because of it. Though.
You gotta have fun.
Yeah,
which is something we've talked about. Going to games. A game can be boring.
Oh, 100%.
The Titans games?
Right.
The Titans games, even games we win, man, the fan experience, man, they're boring.
You
might not want to
say it all the time, though. I mean,
you might not want to say about it. I'll say it, but the games are, even when we were on a hot streak there, we went to the AFC Championship and all that recently, like the games, but you go to a Preds game or a soccer game.
Or a Cats game.
Or a Cats game.
Definitely a Cats game.
Definitely go to the Cats game June 14th.
Game.
Even the Sounds game. But, even if they lose, the games are fun to be at.
Well, yeah.
And the Titans don't have it right now. I'm sorry.
That's why we set up our thing, right? I mean, it's for a very select few that these games are fun for, because behind the scenes at the stadium, what do you have? You have all these luxury lounges, but they're tucked away, and you have to pay premium upon premium. I mean, we have a VIP lounge that sits right out front. I'm out there giving away, passes, and it's $35 to get in there, and then we're going to put a restaurant there next year and bring Nashville back. I mean, the sports industry is driven towards financial progress, and there's some leaders and there's some losers, right? And the leaders right now are the major NFL, the MLB, the NHL, the NBA, and no one ever looks down the nest at it. But if you look, like your experience, it's boring. My experience is, I think every freaking kickoff was 35 yards offsides this last year in the NFL. These guys in the arena football game, they're gladiators, in my opinion. They are gladiators. They're running full speed. And you think about this: you take a football field, you condense it into half the size, but you take the same athletes that maybe lost a second in their 40, but you put them in half the size of the field. I mean, does their speed go down or does it go up? Because I mean, it's
and the surface you're playing on too.
It's fast, and you put them in a smaller range. I mean, you're not going to know the difference between that guy running a 4.2 or that guy running a 4.3.
No, you're not.
No.
And so it's just as competitive. And then when they go over the boards, I mean, we ask at Municipal that you keep the opposing player, but you throw our player back. You can keep that guy. He's good. Go ahead, rub him up a little bit, whatever, but keep our guys safe.
Don't tell me that. You're bailing me out, Bobby.
I had a big group of friends. I mean, the kickoff, right, if you're on the boards, right, those players line up against the boards for the kickoff. So every time the opposing team would line up for a kickoff at our last home game, it's right outside our own. We have the owner circle, and you were down there, Blake, at the last game. Yeah. But they're getting harassed. They're chirping the shit out of them. I mean,
I was giving them hell down there.
Man, I'm like, these guys come over the boards head first. They're going to come over feet first and kick your ass. You know what I'm saying?
It's like that too.
I mean, so the willpower these guys have, I mean, you can just tell they are true professionals, because they get chirped all game long, and it's in there. It's not like the Titans that are, your back so far away. You're reaching out, touching these players. You're coming on the field after the game. And this is so much more interactive. And to your price point, you can come to our game if you're doing So they're $8 at the door at Municipal, $15 on Ticketmaster.
Gee,
Think
that's
of
so
a family
cheap.
of 4 versus
Right.
one ticket to a Titans or a Preds game or something like that.
Absolutely.
Think of it compared to one hotel room. I mean, but then you think about it compared to what you're going to pay for
So cheap.
pricing for parking. I mean, a family of 4 that you're paying, $60 for 4 tickets now turns into $95 because you have to pay $35 for parking.
Yeah.
So you're almost have 50% of our tickets. You have more than 50% of our tickets that you're going to have to upcharge for parking. And so it's being in this big market. Yes, there's a market there for it,
Yeah.
obviously. Where that price point is, where we'll end up, we want to be fair to everybody, but we're definitely going to be the cheapest and most fun game in town. We're the fastest game on turf, and we're going to show that out to everybody, and we want Nashville to get behind it.
Well, behind it, man. We
Yeah,
definitely
I think Nashville will get behind it. We're all behind it, and we're going to be behind it June 14th at what's the name of the arena?
F&M.
F&M.
F&M
Bank.
Arena.
F&M Bank.
Brand new
F&M
arena.
Bank Arena. Yeah,
Owned
it
by
is
the
brand new.
Predators, yeah. We got a great
brand new.
relationship with the Preds. They own
That's
it.
awesome.
And, yeah, they've been helping us out a lot. So, yeah.
And a lot of history at the Municipal. I mean, a whole
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of history
I
there.
love Municipal.
I love just seeing the nostalgia. I mean, this podcast is about people coming, the change of Nashville, embracing it, but also showing that original love. And I think y'all are embodying that.
Well,
Thank you.
it's
Absolutely.
highlighting, we got a dude from a beach town in Michigan that's talking about how passionate he is about bringing the old Nashville back. It
That's
doesn't
what it's all
doesn't
about.
get any more
Nah,
Nashville
it
than
does
that.
not.
That is the definition of the Music City mindset.
My guy.
Yeah, Bobby,
Yeah,
I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
you taking
Yeah.
the time to talk to us today, man. This has
Yeah.
been a great conversation. Glad to actually learn a lot about you because
incognito.
incognito on that server there. But man, you're a great dude,
Succeed in public, celebrate in the dark.
Absolutely.
There you go.
man. You're a rare breed, man.
I appreciate it.
I would have loved the opportunity to play for you. If there's anything you need,
He said, "Why not?
You got-
You got something left
hey,
for me?
We're not a one and done. Get your shit ready.
do not tempt me. I might have just one in me. Let me do one kickoff, Bobby.
I know a guy that knows a guy.
Hey, you know a guy that knows a lot of guys apparently.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope everybody goes out June 14th to the Clarksville game there. Tickets are at NashvilleKats.com. We'll be out there. And I really highly recommend you get on this train early. They got a lot of things going, and you want to come and see what they've got going. Be early on the bandwagon here. You're still trying to find some sponsorship, so I'm sure this price point's going to change. This is the Music City Mindset, the official podcast of the Nashville Kats.
There we go. There we go. You see that?
It's official. He said it. What are you
it's
going to
official.
do?
I said it.
We just got to do a podcast at the games now.
That's nothing. We
Let's do
actually
it.
want to.
We're making
Yeah.
history.
No,
This
I'm
whole
serious.
podcast.
We
Let's
actually
do it.
talked to us about that, doing it. Yeah. So we did talk about that. So
Done.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, there it is. There it is. You heard that, Terry.
We got to bring this couch, though.
And shout,
Ezra, that's
shout out
Ezra's
to
job.
Ezra, 'cause
Yeah,
he
shout
makes
out
all
Ezra.
this happen.
He
too.
fixed the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, King broke it.
I'll show you King when we go to lift him. The big
Yeah.
6'10" guy, and I'll
This
show
is
you.
not
Yeah,
the
we had
first
him on.
couch.
All right.
Yeah, he broke the couch.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sinking in right now.
That's where he was.
Oh man. Well,
I can't wait to see this.
I
dude.
know, man. Hey, so we just got a podcast locked down. We're doing it, right? We will show up at the Cats game. Make sure y'all go support. Bobby, pleasure having you. Evan, always good seeing you too, man. Blake, couldn't do this without you. If you like this podcast as much as I did, I know you like the episode. Make sure you click it, hit the link, like it, share it. Go tell a friend, man. Until next time.
And for the love of Nashville, tune into the next one.